Okay, good morning everyone. This is a video to demonstrate the Zimmer air dermatome, the components of the dermatome, how we set it up, and some safety features about this. This device is used specifically for split thickness skin grafting. General surgeons will be using this, Dr. Holtman, some of the other orthopedic providers also have privileges with using this. So it's a video to make you familiar with all the components so that it can function safely. First of all, the system consists of two trays. The first tray is the actual dermatome itself. And you can see here it says Zimmer Air Dermatome. Your tray will be listed as such. In the tray, you'll have the specific size guards, 1 inch, 2 inch, 4 inch, and 3 inch. This is your screw for attaching it to your dermatome. And also within this tray, you'll find the sterile nitrogen cord that will hook up to your handpiece, and then the other end placed off the field to your nitrogen source cable that comes from the wall, and we'll show you that in a moment. The second component to this setup will be the actual mesher itself. We currently have two mesher types in SPD. This mesher is the preferred one with Dr. Holtman. You will use a derma carrier for it, and the derma carriers often will be a ratio of how the carrier will actually run the skin and split the skin in that webbing appropriately for the size of graft they need. This is a 1.5 to 1. It's a smaller, much smaller mesher. Most typically, Dr. Holtman and the general surgeons will use 3 to 1 or 1 to 3. And that'll give you a bigger sort of netted look to your skin sample. Okay, so here then is the nitrogen power cord that the circulator will have. Please make sure, we have two different kinds of nitrogen cords in the operating room floating around, but make sure that this one has the yellow labeling on it. This is what will actually fit this handpiece, or that sterile piece there. This will screw into the wall. It's your nitrogen source, just as you would any other gas line. And then you would set this aside. When then your dermatome is set up, the scrub tech will hand off from their sterile field the end that'll come off to be non-sterile, which will then connect into and snap in tightly to this connector. Very important that it snaps in and locks in tightly. The nitrogen is under a high amount of force. You want to be sure that it's off for the moment, and at the last point then, before you start to run your dermatome, you will then come out, make sure that your nitrogen source is on, which is located in every OR room at your actual nitrogen pressure control gauge system. So here is your lever. To open it, you will turn it in the direction that it indicates open. This is the amount of pressure that will be in your line. And here you can see that it comes over your outlet pressure. You want to exceed no more than 100 psi. That's pounds per square inch of pressure. So leave it at that. This will be open or close, and make sure that your valve is open. So that addresses your nitrogen source. Now let's look now at actually setting up the derma carrier for safety reasons with the plate guards and the blade, so that we can be done safely.
That's it.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, this is the Zimmer Air Dermatome that Dr. Holtman and our general surgeon, orthopedic surgeons use. So this is your handpiece, and it has a safe and on and off position. This is the blade that they've been using. Make sure it's the Zimmer Dermatome blade and it's the right blade. It says here insert with this side up, so I just have to lay this blade here. It has a swivel, and then it depends on the surgeon what size of guard. Let's say he likes to use the 2 inches. You just have to connect this here, and you have your screwdriver. Just screw it in. Make sure it's tight. And then this is a depth gauge that the surgeon will, adjust it. Just let them know that it's on 0, and they can adjust this one. And this is your blade. And I like to put some mineral oil around the blade just to get it smoothly. And then you have your attachment for your cord. Just hook it up and it will just click. So this is your Zimmer dermatome ready to go.
Okay, and thank you, Arvin. And it's important to note that before, and it's been requested by the surgeons, that before this is clamped down, please allow your surgeon to visually inspect that the blade is seated properly in the dermatome, and then they will secure it and screw it down tightly after they've inspected it and assured that it's the proper fit within the dermatome. Also related to that is making sure everything is securely fit before they actually power it and test it to minimize any risk of the blade coming loose or shooting off under the force of the nitrogen. So very important that, and there you can see the power source to the Zimmer dermatome. The physician will double check all of these settings prior to applying it to the patient's skin. Once skin is harvested, then it comes over to the actual mesher device.
And this is your grafter tray mesher that comes with 2 parts. And this is your rolling thing right here. So something like that. And this is your derma carrier. You got 2 different sizes. And you just put up the skin on this graft side and just hook it up like this.
And this device, your surgeon will actually do all the cutting and the feeding of this through the derma carrier himself, or herself. So, but again, what is very important here is to make sure if you are using the Zimmer dermatome that you are using all Zimmer products that fit with this. So you have the Zimmer dermatome blade must go with the Zimmer dermatome device, which also matches there. And again, these derma carriers, or the dermatome guards are, as you can see, 3 inches is that space, 4 inches, and then here you have a 1 inch. So that indicates the size of skin you'll actually be harvesting. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. And any questions, please refer to any of the general surgeons or to Cluster 1 supervisor, Sarah Hale, and their staff. Thank you.